Recently, I have been processing a lot of emotions, and there's two things I want to say on it. And the first one, I guess, is pretty superficial, but I have a different way of understanding emotions, or I think that emotions are a certain way for me that might not be the same for other people. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one, if it's men versus women, but I was asking my girlfriend, like, what happens in her brain when she feels a certain thing, like whatever, and she didn't have any answer to that. And for me, it's very much, I see pictures. So if there's like a sadness emotion, I'm gonna see like black drapes, a skull, screaming, the color blue, a cage. I just see different visuals. That's how emotions are for me. I don't feel anything in my body. Like, she says she feels sadness, like, all over. And I'm like, what? So what does anger feel like? She says she gets hot. I'm like, what? That's the weirdest thing in the world. And I don't know if I'm the only one or if that's women or what, but I don't feel any emotion. I have it, it's all in my head. It doesn't mean that things aren't intense or upsetting. Like, I'm super emotional wreck almost always. It's not that I don't process it. I studied psychology for a long time. It's just a different way of thinking. And I was like kind of like, if I say, think of a bench, you think of a bench. And most people will do that. Well, I also think of emotions that way too. Anyways, that's the first thing. I'm curious what you guys, what you see or think, or do you feel it? It's just interesting to me. Then, as I'm processing some difficult emotions, some traumas lately that snuck up from the shadows, I kind of been hearing a lot from like religious people talking about, like I'd hear them say things like demons and stuff like that, and I'm like, whatever, right? Like fantasy stuff. And then I'm starting to think a little bit more about it in the sense of, like, when something has overwhelmed me to such an upsetting degree, it's like if somebody upset me or I did something to upset somebody or whatever, it's like that's not the people that have caused this chaos. It was like a demon that came in and won. And you got to think that these feelings, these emotions, this situation, it's not that you don't take responsibility for it. It's that you take responsibility to fight that kind of demon and to combat it, instead of thinking, oh, this is circumstantial, or this is how I am, or this is their fault, this is their problem, this is what happened. Instead, again, in like other words, it would be, you kind of think of it more of like it's some sort of a demon that came in and tried to take over. So you battle where that came from, and you try to dig down as deep as possible to find out where it came from. Like, was it a childhood thing, fear of abandonment, fear of loss, power trips, loathing, hate, anger? All those things are all probable places where discomfort comes from. And it's just interesting to think about it as a living force disrupting a life. And I think the best way to combat that and deal with those is to live the way first. And that's how I've been living for a few years now, which is really works out. And it's challenging, but it's like you be it before you become it. That's like a Mike Tyson thing. Like, he would train as the champion before he became the champion. And that's a measurable, easy way to explain what I'm saying. But you forgive first, you honor before, all of those things. So when very, very difficult things happen in life, you already are the thing. Or when you get the opportunity, there's confidence in the fact that you are it. So yeah, but anyways, that's just kind of a thought process, and I know it's very religious, but it's starting to make sense what the very religious people are saying. It's just funny. It's like they're lessons through time that you can extract, and it's just interesting. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because it's on my mind. All right, that's it. Cheers.